What's up, everybody? It's Brandon Locaron here, and today we are talking about what the home market or housing market and other real estate markets look like in the near future and into 2024. So, we're going to be talking about how home prices are going to be affected by various factors around the world, how interest rates are going to end up at the end of this year in 2023 and into 2024, how the president election is going to change things a little bit potentially, right? And this is solely my opinion, and this is what I think is going to happen. We'll see, but I do have some educated guesses here. So jumping into things where we are today in November of 2023, we saw that consumer price index looked good. It caused the stock prices to go up. And generally, when stock prices go up, the US dollar goes down. Therefore, interest rates tend to go down as well. So right now we're sitting at about 7% interest rates for conventional loans with good credit, decent down payment, or 3% or more down payment conventional loan. Different loan types, we're seeing it in the sixes. So interest rates are turning down, right? And next week we're heading up a Fed meeting where Jerome Powell talks about what he's going to do to either increase rates, decrease rates, or keep them steady. And my projection is that it's because it's before Thanksgiving, I think he might hold the rates. He might hold the rates to see where they end up. And then after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, he's going to see if that CPI, goes crazy, or see if people still buy more things, right? Because if they start spending more, it shows that inflation is through the roof and inflation is continuing to go up. And then I think he will increase interest rates in December if we don't see like a handle on things during Black Friday. So my recommendation to people is like, hey, if you don't want to see high interest rates, kind of like retain from spending a lot on Black Friday. It's a made up holiday anyways, just to cause you to spend more money. So that's just my projection. I do think that, like I said, interest rates will continue to go up maybe one more time. He did say he's expecting interest rates to go up. So it could, if that's the case and it doesn't go up in December, it could go up once more in January and maybe starts leveling back down into next year. So the reason why I believe interest rates are going to continue to go down next year, though, is because JP Morgan put out a report that's, projects what their interest rates are going to be at in the next year. So I think end of next quarter, they're projecting it to be 6.8%. Ending of the year next year, it's going to be in the sixes and maybe fives even with buy downs. So I do think that they know a thing or two better than we do, and interest rates will continue to go down. So home prices, what does that mean for home prices? Right now, we are still in a low inventory market. So while, it's cliche to say, buy the house and date the rate kind of thing, right? Or marry a house, date the rate, I guess is a common saying. Yes, I believe that, but you should also decide when the best time is for you to buy. Now, if you are thinking about buying right now, there are some tools that are available, such as a 2-1 buy down, where you could get tomorrow's rate for today, right? And you could buy down the rate, get the seller to pay it, and you're able to still comfortably live in a home. So I do think that interest rates are going to go down, which then means that home prices are going to go up. So it's going to be sort of a crazy market like we saw during COVID, during the pandemic, where interest rates were low. I think home prices are going to just go up. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as it was during the pandemic, but I do think it's going to go up pretty quickly. So this has to do with home prices and inventory levels, like, right now just kind of staying steady, and inventory levels being at record lows, and home sales, right, are staying low. Well, one of the things that the media doesn't tell you is that because home sales are low, they're not telling you that inventory is also low. So of course there's going to be low home sales because there's not enough homes selling, right? There's not enough homes on the market to sell. So always remember, like, hey, when you hear something in the news, make sure you think about, like, hey, what is the other thing? What else are they leaving out? Is there something that's missing from this, right? And you have to understand the whole picture, not just part of the picture. So I do think inventory levels will probably see an increase next year because people will start feeling a little more comfortable starting to sell their house so that they can move up into something bigger without having to have a crazy payment, with high interest rates right now. Now, one of the things I want to talk about too is how could these wars in the Middle East and Europe affect us? Well, I think that if the war continues, then energy prices can go up, which then is going to cause inflation to go up. So then at that point, we will start seeing interest rates go up to kind of battle that. But with interest rates already being kind of high, it's kind of difficult to normally say, well, if energy prices go up and inflation is going up, then we will see then interest rates, will go up maybe, or they might stay the same, but there's really no room for interest rates to go up to really like cripple the economy. So then we could see a serious wealth changeover here if interest rates continue to go up and inflation is also going up at the same time, because interest rate is used to control inflation. Remember that. But if it's in a high inflation market and a high interest rate market, who do you think is going to win? It's not going to be you. So let's talk about when you should buy a house, right? So a lot of people ask me these questions like, hey, when should I buy a house? When should I buy a house? And the answer is, again, like I said earlier, is what is best for you and your family. It's not about what's best for your realtor or best for the loan officer that you're working with. You have to decide what factors now is good for you to buy a house. And me personally, I'm still buying real estate. I think it's important to always buy real estate. And the reason I'm doing it is because I'm not playing a game that most people are playing. I'm playing the long game, right? I'm playing the generational wealth game. And it's all about holding in the long term and getting a decent price to negotiate it today than, buying in a market where things are continuously increasing. And even though interest rates are low, I could refinance later on, but at least I locked in for a lower price. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me in that, and that's okay, but I'm still buying real estate. So again, going into next year, I do think interest rates will go down. I think inventory levels will pick up, but the housing market will continue to be on the rise from a value perspective. So be on the lookout for that. How the election, though, will affect this. So I believe, right, so like during every presidential election, which is huge, right, every 4 years, we tend to see a decrease in rates, right? For interest rates, gas prices, everything just looks so good before the new president, right? Before the new election. And it's because like it's manipulated, right? It's falsely manipulated to create this like, hey, the economy is doing really well, and that must mean that the current president is also doing well. And that's not always true. And right now I do think that, if that is the case, they could put pressure on Jerome Powell to lower interest rates, which if they lower interest, let's say they do lower interest rates tomorrow to 3%, what do you think is going to happen? Home prices will skyrocket, right? And then there's going to be an even greater wealth shift, okay? So please remember that low interest rate doesn't necessarily mean a better affordability. It just means that, hey, this person is going to get a better price for this house. So always remember that, and pay attention to what's going to happen. But I do think that interest rates will continue to taper off. Let's hope they don't taper off too fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was just a quick update on what I think the market's going to do next year, 2024, and how it's going to end up the end of this year. Hit the subscribe button below, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Take care.